Hello, traders. Welcome to my desktop. Let me know when you can see me, see my screen and hear me. Appreciate it. Testing one, two, three. Peppy, how you doing, buddy? Thank you, Mr. Peppy. All right. Now the market's trying to hold up today. I cleared out. You guys normally come. Remember, you come in here and you see me with about 15, 12 to 15 positions. I'm just very thin right now. I scalped out some stuff this morning, but yeah, I don't like being in a lot of positions when you get this crazy action. Thank you, David. Appreciate it. For those of you guys in here, maybe for the first time, this is our support webinar. My name is Andy, and if you have a question about the software or about stocks, and while I'm doing that, let me pull up my one with the cool charts on it. I go back and forth just because the browser charts I have a little hard time with indicators and things like that. But let me see if I can find it. Why is it not in here? There it is. Support limit all the way up. There. Bear with me. My got a lot of stuff running, so this is finally making the new layout here. Plus, I'm due for a new computer. It's getting about that time. There's a Oklo alert. One I was in earlier, but scalped. All right, let me make sure I can see this chat. It's too big. Hold on just a second. Here we go. All right, guys, we can let's talk about while we're waiting for some action. Maybe the market to do something. Spy. Right now, we got a doji. Would not be a bit surprised if we close in this doji. Who knows? I mean, if we can hold up today and stay above, this range up here that we broke out of, maybe we could get like a little Friday action, little rally action, short squeeze, whatever. Take a look around real quick. Of course, the quant computers have been really strong today. QBTS lead the way. Q kind of lagging there in Ion and Q. Look, trying to do a bar reversal. Just not a market that I really don't like chasing highs in. Okay, this Uber, which I tried earlier and got stopped out, then bought it back. I do like the daily getting above this 10 period moving average. And of course, this is after earnings. It had a nice run. So I jumped back in. Amazon's, I'm kind of limited right now anyway because I had a keystroke error and got more Amazon than I wanted. But we'll see if it can work out. It usually doesn't when you have a keystroke error, but we'll see. I mean, I guess there's worse stocks to have a keystroke area in. This is a nice looking cup. Maybe it's going to work on a cup and then a handle and go, but I'd love to see it get stupid and go today. Take a look at the cues real quick. And pretty similar to the spies there. It's been tough trade. I mean, boy, you got to be careful. I mean, I gave a lot of Tesla back yesterday because I was trying to play a bounce. Uh, I mean, I finally got some, held it overnight, and bought some more today. But anyway, sold some. I've been basically trading it. I could very well see it closing just like this. But yeah, I wasn't. Oh gosh, I gotta get these things off there. There you go. A little bit cleaner there. UMAC coming through again. Look at that. Jeez, RCAT. I wonder if that little pissant UAVS what it's doing today. It even had a little move there. All right, Uber. See if you can get above this range here. Get back above. Would that be yesterday's high? Yeah, get back above yesterday's high. You may just get going. Wish I'd like this XNet for a move eventually, but all right, Uber, there you go. And just poke through, will you? Let's see, draw a trend line. And see, I think it did finally broke that trend, that downward trend line. Let's see if I can draw one with these charts. I love trend lines when they break. So yeah, that was a nice little break on the open. So you got a trend line break. You got a nice little volume yesterday, but it got tied up in the market. Goofy market we had yesterday ran into the 10. Well, it got back above the 10 today. So see if this one can finally get going. I love too that the next high is way up here at 87, and you got your 20. So it's got a lot of clean air, Steve likes to say. This is the kind of trade you can kind of be early in, where everybody else is probably, could be looking for a move, above this level right here, maybe 88 or something like that. But I like when they do break the trends. And the SPY is getting a little bit of push. Man, the cues. A little bit. Hold on, I just gotta shut my door. My dog's barking at something. Well, nice 3-day move there in fat. All right. You guys are quiet today. Yeah, if you have any questions, be sure to fire away. If you have any, want to talk about any stocks, BBAI has been a mess lately. Leaving that one alone till it can decide what it wants to do. AI is pulling back. Looking at the big boys, you got Shop at the top. Shop's having a decent day today. Love to see Amazon follow that kind of move. Speaking of Amazon, yeah, if we can get back above this high, going back over here, 212. It's getting hung up at his 10-period moving average though. LUNR, nice move. I tell you what, that AI is breaking the 10, but if it could pull back to this level, it may have to nibble. I guarantee you a lot of people coming in playing Tesla today. And I told Steve, I said, this is probably just going to be a narrow range day unless they start opening up their big mouths again. All right, I'm going to thin out a little bit of this. Probably bulldoze here. Yeah, bear with me for a second. I'm just going to thin out on a bar reversal. Like I said, I got overfilled in that Amazon. I not overfilled. I just keystroke error. Just going to thin out a little bit. It's 72 there, 211.72. I mean, in this kind of market, you just got to always keep it in the back of your mind how difficult it's been lately to get continued move. A RUM alert must have been set a while back. And speaking of downtrends, trend lines, very similar to that. Yeah, that kind of blows it up, puts it out of skew. If it was right there, I can draw the line from right there. I could see it, but still kind of breaking a trend there. Hey, Vito, how are you? See how these boys are holding up. Oh, glow. That's about where I sold. I sold more than about 2/3 of it there, just above 90 on that first move. So I'm not lamenting that too bad. And the market looks like wants to hold over. I'm gonna thin out a little bit of this if it breaks the fast line again. It's just a market that just, I mean, it's almost, you can look at it, it's almost going higher. And put a stop in that one for half of that. I'm just in and out. A lot of times I will take size based upon a setup, and if it doesn't work, I'll get out of half pretty quick. Boy, Amazon. I like to see that when Markness has a little bit of weak, and the market has a little bit of weakness, and it kind of just defying gravity. Yeah, Vito, that's something I'm not familiar with. I've never traded using Alpaca. Are you trading a strategy or you're auto trading it, or you just your you say some delays? Are you talking about order delays? Yeah. Let's see. When orders are placed, is there a quick way to get the lines out of the way on the screen? I'm not sure what lines you're talking about. Yeah, well, you know what? We have a lot of people using it. We haven't heard of, haven't seen anything coming through our support email or chat. So I'm not sure. You might send it into info@tradeIdeas.com because Chris is kind of the expert, on those external linkings with the brokers, and he will know if there's any sort of bug, or they're seeing kind of any kind of delays. It's just not my expertise. Yeah, I'll send that one in because Chris is probably the guy you want to talk to. And Pepe is saying the new beta has issues. Okay. So, and that's why it's a beta. All right. We obviously, you can always go back to uh, the other one that you were using prior to the beta, the production one. That's probably what I would do. Let's see. IB. I know Barry uses IB, and he has no issues with it. And trying to think, I think E Trade's okay, but I would say IB is probably the best. We have a lot of people trading through Alpaca too, and without any issues. Yeah, you can always revert back to a production version. Okay, on our site, every time I release a beta, there should be a production version on there. I don't know. Hmm. We should be able to get you the last production. I don't quote me on that, but if you send something to our email, just send it to info@trade-ideas.com, and uh, Well, no, this should be it right here. This should be the okay. This you can download this one. This one is the beta, so this one should be the production. So you can download that instead. It's not going to be an issue, and you don't have to uninstall the beta. I mean, I've never once uninstalled before or installing a new one. Yeah, that's it. He says download this one right here, Vito, if you're having issues with the new beta. I'm sorry, the colors threw me off or something. Yeah, apparently, there are. I haven't experienced any, but I'm on a dev version, and this is our new dev version. It wouldn't be the same one you have. They give it to us first before they make it turn it into a beta. So hopefully that's we're pounding away on it. I haven't had any issues with it, but that doesn't mean there aren't any. I don't dive in. I don't do any. Uh, I just trade manually. I don't do any fancy stuff. Yeah, here goes the market. I tell you, we just can't. We've had a hardest time just keeping a bid. Okay, I did sell. Okay, I did get stopped out a little bit of that Amazon. Charts are slow to load. Okay, I know Chris is on top of it. Uh, like this dev version I have, it's pretty snappy. As a matter of fact, I had some issues occasionally, with the last version I had, the last dev version. So far, this has been pretty good for me. Yeah, thank you, Peppy. Yeah, we typically don't have any issues when uh, now I think I will say we spending so much dev hours with the money machine that yeah uh, there's some bugs in waiting to get fixed, and I know we're doing our best to tackle those. But yeah, hopefully when you guys get this one released, it'll fix a lot of the issues because, like I said, I haven't had any issues with it at all. No, we don't. Unless Peppy knows, I don't think we really have anything for market breadth. We got the. Uh, I don't know if you checked out the. Gosh, man, I'm drawing a blank here. compare count window. If you looked into that at all, if you haven't, Vito, be sure to check out that. See if I have one in here. No, I do. Just haven't. I stopped using it. Uh, Gosh, what did I? Why did I not call that? Stopped using it years ago. Let's see, spy. But anyway, check out that. I don't know what I have it under, but that's a nice little feature that kind of gives you, you can configure it. Like I like to run like spies hitting highs versus stocks hitting lows, and doing it with a volume. I usually put like a little volume, relative volume, or some sort of volume filter in there to so it's just not picking up junk. But yeah, those compare count windows kind of gives you an idea, of the not so much the market breadth, but were who's winning the Bulls or the Bears at the time, and it's real time. Oh, there you go. There you go. Yeah, Chris plays around with that stuff, so he's the person. He's the expert. Maybe not on all of them. I don't know if he's used Alpaca, but he's worked with enough people who have to where he can troubleshoot a lot of that stuff. Yeah, that's good. That is good advice. Sissy coming through berries. Yeah, RKLB was on my list today, and I feel like he's just that was a nice looking chart coming into today after putting in a bottoming tail yesterday. Bar reversal. This ACHR, man, I was hoping this thing would come down, to this 50 period moving average, but not going to do it today. Doesn't look like. I can ask Steve if he's around to drop his in there. Yeah, right. I'm sure you do. Uh, yes, hold on one sec. Oh, okay. Steve got it for me here. Hold on. And I did switch to my educational YouTube, so I should be able to post this. No, not the whole software cannot be replayed. Now the races can be replayed if you want to watch the races. But no, you can't go back and you can just go back and look at histories, in the scans, but you can't like see live recorded action. The only thing I look at is my homework. That's where I found stocks like this OI. Nice little setup if it got above this level. RKLB was another one that was on my list. Uh, uh, trying to, and I'll show you what that is. I don't look at like a lot of gappers. I will for earnings. I don't like trading earnings because most of them they're crap. They're like an algo playground where they just kick it back and forth. But I'll look to see, earnings, which who had good earnings, and maybe throw a price alert in there if I get a pullback or something. Or I won't, but I typically don't play earnings. But yeah, the only thing I look at is my homework each day, and call it my Trader Eye homework, and just and see if there's anything in here. Stocks that are setting up on a daily for a possible move. Just looking for setups, and that's where I find a lot of my trades. Yeah, it seems like closes are nothing like they used to be. Back in the good old days, 25 years ago when I was day trading, the closes were, you know, a lot of action, much similar to the open. Nowadays, I don't know, man. It just seems like to me it's just a bunch of algos squaring up on the close. Yeah, you don't get the kind of movement you used to. Um, Especially for rallies. It seems like most of the rallies will happen, from the bell ringing till about the first 2 or 3 hours. See, like this IONQ is setting up here nicely. See, so by having some scans configured to show you these setups, it makes it really easy to find these. So you're not going through 1,000 stocks looking for interesting chart there. There's HCHR again. That I'd like to see that thing pull back. I say I wouldn't buy it here because I would feel like it'd be a head fake and slam down to the 50. There's one that's pulled back, bounced, and now it's back above the 50 and the 20. There's Oklo on there now. So you're getting a lot of good setups for a potential move, on Monday in these things if they don't go today. And the way the market's been, I'd be surprised if they just kept ripping, but who knows? PLTR is actually setting up, put you alert above the 10. No, not really, Vito. I don't think the closes give you, obviously if you get like uh a pattern where you had a big sell off and then you had a tail, kind of like the uh RKLB, I think it was, like this one tried to sell off, filled the gap, and then put a tail in. If I get a pattern like that in the overall market, I will definitely be on the lookout for a good move the next day. And that goes for stocks and it goes for the market if you get something like that in the market. But other than that, it just depends on how it looks on a chart. And spies and Qs are drooping like they like to do. Yeah, you will get some well, shit, market. You will get will get some selling in the closing minutes for sure. A lot of that is just, algos, like I said, squaring up. And the Qs are trying to go to lows. And I'm going to be pretty light going into this weekend. I just don't like all the macro news being tossed around out there, name calling. I mean, just all you got to do when you see action like this is where you know you try to break out of this range, and we've had nothing but down closing near lows, closing near lows, closing near lows. It's just so other than that, obviously we're in this range, which made it really hard too. Sure, you had a couple of days nice in this range, but man, it's been a lot of profit taking. I don't know. Just seems like to me there's sellers are not backing away. Well, algos squaring up. See, algos are basically a high frequency trading algos. They're just in the market for just knocking stuff back and forth, and they will do some some gnarly stuff, and so they may be taking a lot of positions to the long side and maybe shorting some. Remember, these things are just going for pennies, and and what'll happen is toward the end of the day, they may be on too big on one side, maybe they're too much on the long side. They want to get flat. They want to get flat at the end of the day. So they'll just, closing minutes, just I'm sure it's all based on their formulas, but yeah, they'll definitely close. I'm just talking about the high frequency trading algos, which are in the market basically just for a day, and they're squaring up at the end of the day. That's why a lot of times you see the market will be just weak all day, just be weak, weak, weak. But then in the closing, like 15 minutes, all of a sudden, or maybe even 10 minutes, 5 minutes, you get this crazy green bar rally. That to me, that's not new buyers, retail buyers coming in. Oh, I want no, it's typically just algos uh, squaring up their shorts. Yeah, yeah, they don't want to get locked in. Oh, I try to avoid the first, unless I see some, opportunity like drive downs. A lot of times I'll put alerts in for stocks that I like, but maybe I feel like the algo is going to drive them down, scare out everybody, and maybe I'll put a bid in down at a moving average, like a 10-period moving average. But other than that, I got to have lot of conviction in a stock to take a new position in the first, 10 or 15 minutes. Boy, lately it sure has, Vito. There's been a lot of sideways action lately, uh, and then some downside action too. It's like I was saying the other day. I uh, will typically, if you're looking at a market, stay right here where it's kind of breaking out of a range. Then maybe I'm looking at grab positions, and I did very well during this time. But uh, well, I shouldn't say that. Let's see. May was a very, very good month. Now we're starting out in June, and even though we're creeping higher and higher, it's been tough because of these tariff news and ego fight. I mean, it's like this Amazon. I've been in it forever. You can see I've done very well in it. I've got a lot of good closing uh, profits. But this is a chart, man, that typically when you get a setup like this, I mean, like that day yesterday, I mean, and now you're gapping up again today, and it's just in a very strong bull market, this thing would be past this level, 2 days ago, 3 days ago. It would have probably broken out. And now this is the kind of stuff you're getting. It's just now obviously there's been some good moves elsewhere, but I just don't trust it. Let's just put it that way. It just something ain't right. Maybe it's distribution. Maybe it's institutional distribution. Retail's coming in trying to push it to all-time highs, and meanwhile the institutions are selling. I don't know, but I just know we've had a hard time moving higher, especially intraday. No, I can't think of any really good, indicators for that measures sellers versus. I know they're out there. I try not to pay too much attention to all that stuff and just follow the price action. Yeah, we could get a rug pull today. We, we, we- we've been getting them a lot. I know there was definitely some rug pulling going on in some stocks yesterday. Yeah, I don't trust it, Vito. That's why I'm very light right now. I just the last few days I've been in, lots of positions, and it's hard to manage. You got to put in a lot of stops, or I'm like, man, screw this. I'm going light. I'd rather get loaded up on just a couple of stocks versus right now than being 15 positions and have to manage, this market as it goes to lows like right now. No, not a good way to spend your weekend. Yep, Qs are trying to go to lows here. And this is why I don't trust the market. APLD. Well, definitely a good move for is that the one Nvidia has a big stake in? I think it is, yeah. For me, it's extended right now. I mean, gosh, it's gone from what, 680, so more than doubled in the last week. So obviously strong. If you're in it, it'd be wise probably to bang out a little bit of profits. I don't know. Let's take a look at the weekly, see what we got here. Let's do that weekly high. Yeah, not a whole lot of resistance on the weekly. Could go higher, that's for sure. Uh, but yeah, if you're not in it, what I would like to do is just maybe put in an area where it may pull back to a 10-period moving average. Let's say it retraces maybe half of that move. Okay, basically it's up. What did I say? $6 of $8. So let's say it gives back half of that move to 10. So maybe something around 11. Put your price alert, and hopefully gets a pullback, and it's around that 10-period moving average. But all I can say, if you've been in it, is probably wise when you get 100% move to take some profits off. But yeah, I can definitely understand trying to let rest of it ride some more for you. Oh, it's nice to be light. Yeah, it did have some blue sky. I mean, you obviously have some resistance. So when I go back to that weekly, let's even look at a monthly. So on the monthly, yeah, you could go another $5 easy. So if you're looking at the monthly, the next high is around, 20 bucks, like 1980 or something like that. So yeah, it's got good volume. So yeah, if you're patient, maybe you can get a move. Let's see there. I'm gonna put that a little bit higher if it comes back to that prior high there at 1268. I don't know what simmer points. What are simmer points, Vito? I'm not familiar with that term. You mean it's like for looking for a pullback when you say the low side? Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I mean, I can see it overshooting something like that. So maybe if you want to talk about a simmer point, maybe you're talking about. I just call that kind of support, going back to that level I mentioned earlier. But I like to set them up a little bit higher, and then you can always reevaluate if it comes down to there. See if it's any volume. Is it like a nice uh, calm pullback and not something just driving down on high volume? So I may put a little alert for a scalp. That thing does a bar reversal. Yeah, yeah. The best thing to do is for me when you're looking for pullbacks is trend lines, moving averages, and support. So you don't have, I mean, something like this on the daily. You don't have a lot of a trend. I mean, the trend would be like that. So that's something I wouldn't use on this one. So probably the best thing to do is use prior support. Now, for me, that's just one wick. So more than likely, I would like to see it probably come down to that 1070, 1080 level. I think there you have much more kind of defined support. Call it even a uh, what's the word I'm looking for? Pivot level. Call it a pivot level, if you will. So I'll stick one right there too. Just that's kind of an area where I could see it coming back to, and maybe you got the 10 or 20 there by the time it does. Well, yeah, the high flyers, it's a different game. I played that game for 15 years and day trading, and it's it's definitely a emotional roller coaster. But I still, even when I was day trading, I would still kind of look for those setups. Okay, typically I just wouldn't chase, green bars, because it gets you in trouble. It's what a lot of traders do, and you're going to be wrong a lot more than you're going to be right. The ones that just keep going when you're chasing like that. So if you miss it, like I said, set price alerts for pullbacks, and then reevaluate them when you get them. Yeah, yeah, it is. It's very, it's very difficult. Let's just take a look at this. Well, fat's probably a bad example. Let's try to find something that's, had a nice move. Or you see, this is what I call a setup. After the first 15 minutes of a day, you got your eye on this thing. It's, volume's definitely coming in, and you got a nice little 30-minute range break right there. So that's what I'm saying. Looking for setup, stalking it. Maybe if you wanted him to nibble on a pullback neck, down to the 5 period, so 10-period moving average. But yeah, to me, for just chasing a green bar, it's, I mean, you can win sometimes, but you can also get your neck snapped. All right, guys, I'm going to call it a day. That's I've gone over my time there. So no, I like to use a 15-minute. I like back when I was day trading, Vito, I would use a 5-minute in the first 30 minutes, and then I would switch to a 15-minute. But because 15 minutes will keep you in trades longer for some reason. 5-minute, you get too many bar reversals and you get nervous, where 15 minutes will keep you in a trade longer, in my opinion. All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up for today. Thank you so much for hearing me out, and have a great day. No, I'm not sure what you're talking about, Vito, but I got to run, buddy. I got somebody trying to get a hold of me over here on Slack. Have a great one, guys. I will talk to you. I'll talk to you next week. Bye bye.